It's tax time in Australia again, and that means it's time to start thinking about which tax deductions you can claim so you can maximise your tax refund. I have picked the 5 best ways that you can save big on your Australian income taxes for the year ended 30 June 2022. These tips relate to your work activity between the 1st of July 2021 to the 30th of June 2022. In this period of time, there are a number of opportunities announced to save on taxes that were introduced in response to the pandemic and the second major lockdown. So listen carefully as I cover the key opportunities you may have missed or even forgotten. If you missed just one tip, then you could miss out on a large tax deduction. So listen carefully and watch to the end as I will share a bonus tip that you simply can't miss. Okay, here goes. Number 1. Have you worked from home again this year during the pandemic? Well, remember to keep track of the days and hours you work from home so you can claim part of the cost of working from home using the government's shortcut method. This method is simple and allows you to claim a tax deduction by simply multiplying the number of hours worked from home in the year by 80 cents. That's it, no more. This shortcut method claims everything from buying home office equipment to electricity to power your equipment, heating, gas, the works, with no need to do complex calculations or keep detailed records or receipts. If you did keep detailed receipts and spent a lot more than an average taxpayer, then you might be able to claim more tax deductions and get a bigger tax refund using the actual cost method, which leads me to number 2. If you bought expensive office furniture and equipment that your work didn't pay for, then you may be able to claim a tax deduction for the percentage you used for work during the lockdown and after. In the 2022 tax year, this could be a lot of money for many people who never worked from home before. But remember, if you're using the government's shortcut method of 80 cents per hour, then you won't be able to claim more for working from home, and the time period you can for is also limited, and it won't be an ongoing type of deduction that you can use in future years. I've created another video where I explain more about working from home tax deductions in more detail, and I'm going to leave a link in the description below where you can watch it if you're interested to learn more. Number 3. If you didn't work from home, then there are still many tax deductions you could claim. Before I cover them, please remember to hit the like button for this video, and also please subscribe if you haven't already for more content like this. Thanks a lot. Did your work require you to buy a RAT test or any other test to check for COVID and they made you pay for it? Did you use your car for work-related travel more this year? Then it could be work-related and you might be able to claim a tax deduction from the extra costs from pandemic and various lockdowns. If the item you purchased is half work-related and half personal, make sure you include the work-related part of your purchase in your tax deduction only. Don't overclaim. Otherwise, the tax office will come after you. If you're not certain whether an item is claimable, hold on to your receipt and speak to a tax accountant so they can work out the claim for you. All you need to do is pay for these work-related expenses before 30 June 2022. You can even claim a higher deduction for paying for expenses before 30 June 2022 that may not be due until later on. So you can actually claim a tax deduction just a few weeks later after you paid for them in your 2022 tax return. Timing the payment of your expenses can make a big difference to your tax refund. If you pay after 30 June, then you may have to wait another 12 months or more before getting any tax benefit. Also, remember, if your work paid for expenses, you can't claim it as a tax deduction. Number 4. Are you planning on making an extra personal super contribution out of your own pocket this year in addition to what your employer contributed? Well, you may be able to claim a tax deduction for your personal super contribution if you make sure you pay it before 30 June 2022 and complete all the required forms that your super fund requires. You really need to contact your super fund for the form and return it by the deadline to ensure you can claim a tax refund. I recommend you speak to your super fund or accountant if you have questions, as this one can get tricky. If you're not sure if you hit your superannuation contribution cap for this year or how much you have left, then you can find out on your MyGov account online. I'll also put a link in the description of the instructions on how to go about doing this. Number 5. Do you have a worthy cause you believe in and want to see it succeed? It's been a year of floods and disasters around the world, and Australians are a generous bunch of people, so make sure you look into what you have donated to claim a tax deduction for your generosity. To claim a tax deduction, all you need to do is check if the charity you donated to is registered with the ATO as a deductible gift recipient and keep the tax receipt and make sure you pay it before 30 June 2022. I have also included a link in the description of this video for the site that shows a list of deductible gift recipients that you can search for your own. Bonus tip. The government announced before the 2022 election that the low and middle income tax offset has been increased by $420 for the 2021 and 22 income year for those earning less than $126,000 per year. The Labor government has also agreed to continue this offset. The offset does decrease as you get closer to the maximum $126,000. But many people will still benefit anyway. The base amount for the 2021-22 income tax year has increased to $675, and the full amount is $1,500 instead of $1,080. As the increase in this offset was only introduced late, the chances are that you have not received the full benefit of the extra $420 in your take-home pay, if you are eligible. If you haven't received the benefit yet, and you are entitled to it, then you'll get this extra money back when you lodge your 2022 tax return. If you pay too much tax, then you'll get a tax refund no later than 14 days after lodging your tax return, which is a great incentive to lodge earlier than usual if you expect to pay no tax this year. If you want to learn more about claiming a home office tax deduction, then check out the video on the screen right now, which will show you how to calculate your work from home tax deduction with some common examples that people often forget to claim. See you in the next one.